Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. And in this video, we're gonna learn about the terms called processing. So for most of you who already watched my video about hardware and software for the A plus course, then already you may already understand what is hardware and software, right? So let me rewind information a little bit. In order for a computer to do something, uh, the uh, the software will help transfer information to the computer so that all of the hardware can function in a particular way, right? So and yeah, in order for the computer to do something, the software uh, play a really important role in that process. So in order for information to transfer anywhere around the computer system, uh, an a specific term called processing will play an important role in this moment. So today we're going to learn about processing. Uh, let me show you the document about it here. So okay, let me read out loud some of the information from each paragraphs, and I'm going to think about how to analyze some important information and how to paraphrase or how I should try or how I should remember the information so that you guys can know that if you are a student, what how should you know or learn the information from all of the information I'm gonna try to show you. And please don't forget to think like a student and an engineer. Okay, if there's something that is really helpful for you for your jobs in futures, please try to think like an engineer. If there is something that is not that really important, just try to think like a student and to learn something until you pass in the class. Don't try to focus too much on some unuseful information. Okay, okay. Let's begin with this paragraph. Signals generated by processing. Signals generated by input devices needs to be analyzed. This is done using a processing device. A processing device is okay. Signals generated by input devices need to be analyzed. So let's say you try to type something into the from your keyboard, your computer's keyboard. So it may trigger a signal for the computer, like from some kind of input information, and the computers need to analyze that kind of input. So that process is done using a processing device. Okay, let's see what kind of processing device they are trying to show us here. A processing device is any hardware component that can analyze and interpret input. Okay, so a processing device is some you can remember it like this. You can remember this information like this. Or a processing device like a kind of input, a kind of hardware device that help process information, process input information. Okay, that's it. Uh, uh, or you can say it can also help analyze information, analyze input information and interpret it or translate those informations into some kind of data that the computer can understand. Okay, next, the most common processing device is the central processing unit, CPU. Okay, for those of you who have no idea what is this a CPU, I'm gonna show you from the information on the internet like this. CPU. Okay, CPU. Okay, here you can see that there are a lot of different kinds of CPU here. It looks like a small chip, right? So normally, if you buy a laptop or a desktop computer, you're not gonna see and not gonna be able to see this particular chip because it is located inside your computer. Okay, so the only way to actually see the chips is is when you try um, to open your computer's case or your laptop's on the back of your laptop's keyboard, and you can see some of the hardware components inside. And normally, you may have to remove some of the components that is placed above or next to or that is are those components that cover the CPU, you know. So as so based on my knowledge, I know that there are CPUs from some famous brands like from Intel or Intel CPU, Intel CPU and AMD CPU. So when you try to buy a computer or laptop, you can see CPU from Intel or AMD. So those are two really famous brands that you can see the most in all of the marketplace out there. Let me show you some kind of marketplace like Amazon. Uh, and if you try to buy laptop or desktop computer, you can see that they provide information about the CPU here. Like, oh, this is Intel Core i5, i3 CPU. This is Co- Intel Core i5. This is uh, where the hell is the CPUs here? Oh, let's see. Sorry. Okay. Let's see this information about the CPUs from this laptop. Okay, Intel. Powerful processor. Okay, Intel. Okay, next. Okay, here you can see AMD Ryzen 3. This is the CPU. Okay, AMD CPU from AMD. And yes, most of the time you can see CPUs from Intel or AMD on every marketplace out there. But if you want to try to use some kind of CPUs from other brand, you can find more information about them online. I'm gonna ask some AI tools to help me find more information about the CPU, like different brands of CPU, so that you can know about them. Uh, so many different CPU brands. Sorry. Mm, okay. Okay. Here you can see different CPUs brand like from Intel, from AMD, from Apple. Okay. Uh, from Qualcomm, Snapdragon. Okay. From ARM Cortex series. Cool. From NVIDIA Ray CPU. I wonder if there's anyone out there who actually used the CPU from NVIDIA anyway. Media, okay, next MediaTek, the Dimensity, hello. What the hell is this? But budget-friendly mobile processors or IPM power series, enterprise or CPUs for servers and HPCs. Samsung's or mobile CPUs used in Samsung devices. Okay, so if you have like Samsung Galaxy phone, chances are that phone may use this kind of CPU. Okay, high silicon mobile CPUs. Okay, so the CPU from IPM here is uh, like kind of CPUs the IPM used for most of their data servers, like a really huge computers in their data center. You know, data center might look like this. Yeah, data center. Yeah, data center might look like this. Those are like those are like really huge computers, and use those kind of computers to run the network system or store all of the data around the world. You know. Okay, next. Uh, okay, I actually I actually forgot about Apple though, but yeah, I know. I, I knew before there there are also computers for that was created by Apple too, and they used some kind of chip like M1 and 2 and 3. Okay, and computers from Apple are using Mac OS uh, operating system, while computer that you see using the chip from Intel or AMD are mostly run the Windows OS or Windows operating systems. Yeah, those are some information about the famous kind of CPU. Okay, next. Uh, The CPU is like the brain of the computer. Okay, so CPU is like the main part of the computers. Okay, it transfers all of the information for the computers to know what to do. So without a CPU, there's no way a computer can run. That's all. It processes data according to a set of instructions or software. Okay, okay. For example, when the A key on the keyboard is pressed, the keystroke information is sent to the CPU where it is processed based on the software that is currently running. Keystroke information. I think this example already resemble. I think this example is already resemble the kind of examples that I mentioned before. So I'm not gonna explain it here. If you were running word processing software, the letter A the letter A will appear at the cursor location in the open document. You were running word processing software, the letter A will appear at the cursor location in the letter A will appear at the cursor location in the open document. You were running again, it might make a character move to the left. Okay, so think of these two sentences like this. If you press the A key from your keyboard, then something will appear in the Microsoft Word document. Okay, like this. If I press A, see, the A will appear at the cursor location in the open document. The cursor location is this location here. Just look at the position of my mouse here, and something that appear here is called a cursor. Okay, the specific location that you want to type something, and if I press A, it will appear here. Okay, if you were running a game, it might make the character move to the left. Okay, this example might be confused because uh, I'm not sure what kind of game that they are trying to they are trying to talk about here. So next, now processing device is random access memory RAM. Okay, so RAM is another kind of processing device too. So when you try to buy a laptop or desktop computers, you might want to look at information about the RAM too, random access memory. And here, let me try to show you some information about it. Okay, yeah, here are different color RAMs that you can see on the marketplace. At this time, you may have no idea how to distinguish between these RAMs. So let's just try to remember how does it look. And let me show you how they describe the RAM information in detail on the marketplace like Amazon. Okay, on Amazon, you can see specific information about RAM in different kind of laptops. So for this particular laptop, you can see this laptop contains 32 gigabyte RAM. The work GB is gigabyte, okay. And for this computer, it's gonna be 64 gigabyte RAM. This computer is gonna be have this computer has 4 gigabyte RAM. So in general, the more RAM a computer has, the better. It helps store more information, store more data, for example. And as you can see about the price of each computer here, the more RAMs can play an important role in comparing the price to. The more RAM means the more expensive a computer is. Okay, back. RAM is used to store process information, so it can be quick. RAM is used to store process information, so it can be quickly accessed at a later time. So it can be quickly accessed at a later time. Okay. RAM is used to okay. For example, if a CPU were to process data from a spreadsheet, but still need to access that data at a later time. For example, if a CPU were to process data from a spreadsheet here is like uh, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Excel looks like this. Mm, mm. Yeah, this is the symbol of Microsoft Excel and spreadsheet. Might looks like this. Okay, but still needed to access the data at later time. Data could be stored in RAM for quick access. Data could be stored in RAM for quick access. RAM is also used to store running software. Okay, just remember about RAM like this. It's like a mm, like kind of hardware device that is used to store data so that you can so that computer can retrieve data and process data in a long time, you know. Okay. Next, if a CPU were to process data from spreadsheet, but still need to access the data at a time, data could be stored in RAM for quick access. Sorry, let me see how I can show you how the more comprehensive way to understand this information. Oh, so let's say you play a video game and you try to save a specific scene from a video game, like you already finished some mission or you already finished some kind of uh, adventures, and you want to store all of those things that you already done into a specific locations, for example, on your computer, so that on the next day or on any other days, you can open your video game again and open the file storage so that you can continue to play your video game from the point where you already store where you already saved the scene before and continue to move forward to the next scene. Yeah, RAM is so important in that position. It helps you store all of those informations from that video game to a specific place in your computer, so that you can continue to use that kind of information for future. You know, or let's say you try to write some information on Microsoft Word to for school or for work, and you want to open that file again in the future to continue doing something about it, then yeah, RAM is gonna play an important role here to help you store all of that information in your computer. So without RAM, make sure I promise that all of the information that you store will go away, and you can say goodbye to those information after you turn off the computer, or even or you can say shut down or restart the computer. You know, although those shut down and restart are different kind of process, but it can be the same here with our RAM. Okay, next. Uh, the data to be stored in RAM for quick access. Okay. RAM is also used to store running software. Yeah, here you can see most of the information. So RAM can store most of the information, right? And including software too. Okay, that's it for this video. Um, Thank you guys for watching my video. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification